What's up, guys? Welcome back to Travel Private, and today we are checking out a 1980 Cessna Citation II 550. Guys, this plane in 1980 was $5 million bucks, which is like buying a $9 million plane right now. I mean, that's absurd money. I really want to know, like, what do you get for $5 million? So before we go any further with this plane, let me just set the ground rules here. If you're not a baller, you can't afford this plane. Let's just set that, okay? This is for the guy that has 6 houses in Malibu, for the guy that has his ski lodge in Utah. This is who this plane is for. So this plane costs about $120,000 every couple of years to inspect. And then if you have to redo either of these engines, let's just say a redo job is about $300,000. And if you would have to replace these engines, it could cost you over $1 million. I don't know about you guys, but to redo the engines in my car, I don't have $1 million laying around. And so that is why this plane is just out of the budget of 99% of Americans.
Dude, there's 2 engines too. So you're not talking 300,000 for one, you're talking 300,000 for 2 or $1 million each.
We're
talking $2 million. It's more than the plane's worth now after 40 years.
Yeah, what if this plane's worth right around like $800 to $1.5 million, depending on the amount of hours on the frame. And also too, like, you know, depending on the condition of the airplane. So basically what we're saying is this thing is flying with 2 Bugattis strapped to the back of it. This is just absolutely insane. This is what I imagine in the 80s, like, well, I guess that'd be 90s, like Jordan Belfort.
I was just gonna say that, yeah, like the Wolf of Wall Street.
This is like Wolf of Wall Street money right here. This is absolutely insane, guys.
And what's crazy is, like, it's dropped significantly for the price to, like, acquire it. Now,
yeah,
the maintenance costs are still insane, but like for a jet, you can get this thing for $1 million? Like, that's crazy.
Does it drop any lower than that, really? Guys, so we've also been told that this plane is basically about as cheap as you're gonna get for a small jet. And if you thought your car insurance at like $400 a year was expensive on your 1960s piece of junk Acura, well, I guess they didn't make Acuras in the 60s, but if you thought insurance on your 2000 Acura was expensive at $600 a year, let me tell you this jet alone costs about $25,000 a year to insure. So for everybody watching, including my wife, that's complaining about the insurance costs, it's really not that big of a deal. All right, guys, so this plane burns, these engines burn about 180 gallons of fuel an hour. And at the current price of gas, which is like $8 a gallon, that's almost $1,500 an hour to fly. So let's just say, unless you're a baller, you're not gonna be able to fly anywhere than like a 20-minute radius, because you can't afford to fly this plane.
I could afford to fly it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably get it down the runway and then they'd have to stop and cancel my credit card at that point. All right, guys, so at almost $1,500 per hour, this plane flies at 408 miles per hour, which is actually super fast for a jet of this age and for a small jet like this. So it actually, even being from the 80s, it will keep up with anything that flies right now.
So this thing has about a 2,000 mile range. So I mean, you could get from here to Europe in this thing, you could get pretty far really anywhere and quickly.
You can almost get to Colorado if you really think about it.
Yeah,
Pretty close. I mean, I guess there's all these like wind patterns, changes, a whole bunch of stuff like that. Headwinds, tailwinds, backwinds, forward.
Yeah.
Side to side. All right, guys, before we head inside the airplane, make sure to like, subscribe, smash that notification button, tell your wife about it, tell your friends about it, tell your grandma about it. Let's go inside. All right, guys, so obviously the first rule of owning a jet is you have to have a bar. And the first thing you see when you come in through the door is this little tiny bar right here. I mean, you got space for, looks like maybe ice box?
Yeah, probably nice.
And then you got, you know, obviously
snacks.
Coffee, snacks. There's room for, it looks like beverage stuff down here.
Maker.
You can keep all your important documents, maybe hang a coat or two. This is a really nice little spot. I'm sure like in the 80s, we would have been making drinks on the rocks right here while we're partying, while we're flying, you know, to like Miami Beach or something like that. But yeah, this is like when you first walk in the plane, this is the first thing you see. There's also a little seat right here, which I'm sitting in. I'm 6'4". I actually have decent headroom. If I,
yeah, you're not even really like,
no.
Honestly, you're not that close to like hitting.
Yeah, so this is like the little sign. It reminds you not to smoke in the airplane. I know there's probably a lot of YouTubers that just put tape over that and then they sit there in the back, Joe Burrow style, and smoke their stogie. But I guess like in the 80s, you would have probably had to remind your guests not to smoke in the airplane. If you fly commercial, they would have smoked or something like that, been in the smoking section. But I mean,
Man, times have changed.
You can barely smoke outside a building now, let alone in an airplane.
An airplane.
Guys, this is crazy. So
let's go check out the back.
Yep. So there are 6 seats here, 2, 4, 6. You technically have a seat right there. And then you also have a seat here in the back that actually doubles as a toilet, which is honestly, I think, how I'm gonna change the toilets at my house. They're gonna double as a lounge chair, because this looks pretty comfortable, and I would love to, I'd love to take a dump at 40,000 feet with that thing. I think he said, what was the max height you could go? 46,000 feet in this thing?
I forget.
Can you imagine dropping something from 46,000?
It doesn't drop, it goes to a 10.
It just destroys it. So you could technically fit, what was that, 1, 2, 3, well, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So as you guys can see, this plane is in super good condition. I mean, the interior is beautiful. The exterior of the plane is beautiful. Guys, and a big part of that is keeping it stored indoors. Our friends over at Rebuild Rescue show you a clear example of what happens to your plane when you don't store it indoors. And there are birds everywhere. So, I mean, the additional, expense a lot of people don't calculate is that $400,000 worth of hangar rent that you're gonna need to basically store a $1.5 million asset or a $5 million asset when you buy it. So that's a huge expense as well. And I mean, I get that that could be a huge expense, but also too, it keeps your plane looking beautiful like this. The exterior of the plane looks beautiful. The interior of the plane obviously looks like it's been very well cared for. And that does keep the value of the plane decently high. This is a beautiful plane on the inside.
It honestly looks as good as a lot of new planes.
It looks fantastic.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, and I do think that that is like with these planes, it's a huge, there's so many calculations to go into like what the value is, but I do know that one of the resounding facts, just like cars, just like boats, just like RVs, just like anything, condition plays a huge key in what you get in return for that plane. So there's a lot of factors as to why you would own a plane like this. I know it sounds crazy, like what individual would own a plane like this, but I mean, if you're a company, and you got to get your executives around to different states quickly, efficiently, without flying commercial into small airports. It does make a lot of sense from an ROI standpoint. One little cool feature we did find here is this tray. And I know you're thinking like, why is that a big deal? There's actually a photo of Harrison in a jet, cut to that photo, and he's actually doing his work like while flying. So this is super cool. I mean, you can throw your laptop up here. You could work while you're, you can make serious business deals, trade stocks while you're on the way to, Rhode Island or New York or something along those lines. But you can get there in a ridiculous amount of time, and there is no time wasted at the airport.
Yeah, you pull right up, open up your hangar, get in your plane, you're gone.
I know, and I know it's crazy to believe, but there are some executives that time literally is money.
Yeah, I mean, I was working on my laptop on a jet. Probably my time wasn't necessarily worth a jet flight, but
yeah. Harrison's $180 an hour expense was probably not worth flying on a jet, but for some people, their time is worth real money.
Yeah.
That's when you're flying on a jet makes a lot of sense. And this thing is actually super spacious. Like,
yeah,
I would take this anywhere, gladly. If you forced me to take this somewhere.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like, you could be sitting on a plane and instead of being cramped, even in like first class on a commercial jet, you're in this thing. If you could get one more business deal done, it probably paid for the next like 3 months of usage of this plane.
Yeah, I mean, there's a world out there that we don't even understand of people with just atrocious money, and this makes a lot of sense. Time saver, guys. We're slowly working our way there. All right, guys, thanks a ton for watching. As we showed you, this is what it takes to own a $5 million plane from 1980. It takes a ridiculous amount of time and money. But thanks a ton for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification button. We'll see you guys later.